Hey everyone. Well, I didn't watch Raw this past Monday night, but one of the biggest things that came out of Raw this past week was basically the announcement or the revelation or the excitement that's been built upon it for a while that Matt Hardy is finally going to be able to go broken. Or as WWE and even Matt put it on his Twitter, you can check out Matt Hardy brand and his Twitter page and it says woken. So Matt's going to be able to go woken or be woken finally or broken in WWE very soon because apparently Anthem is now allowing their wrestlers to put this in the contract, past and present, to be able to utilize the gimmicks they develop for their company outside of the company once they leave. So in other words, like Dalyxman has mentioned, and I'm currently watching his video. I put it on pause right now. But as Dalyxman has mentioned, people like EC3 don't have to go back to being Derek Bateman or anything. They can go be EC3 wherever they want. Like if WWE, once EC3's contract comes up and says, once, for example, if EC3's contract finally comes up and he decides to leave, he can finally go to and WWE says, hey, this guy's shown a lot of improvement since he's left. Let's bring him in. He doesn't have to go in or go back as Derek Bateman. He can go in as himself, as what he is, as who he is now, which is EC3. Same with Eli Drake. If let's say WWE takes interest in Eli Drake again and allow him to do the Eli Drake kind of deal, then he'll be able to do that. They'll finally be able to do this because I think what Anthem has realized is they need to create positive energy for the company. All this negativity that's been with them since the beginning, uh, and all that, they need to basically say, hey, we don't need that anymore. It's like if they want to start anew, if they want to start anew by moving all the operations to Canada and all that, they realize, hey, if we're going to create goodwill, we need to show that we're willing to work with our performers past and present. And that probably means, hey, to show this, let's put in the contract that you develop a gimmick here, you can use it anywhere you want. We won't fight you on it. You know, they won't fight them on it. And I think that's good. I really think I really think that's a good move by Anthem, whether you like them or you don't like them, because it's like, at least they're finally realizing, hey, if we're going to at least create some progress, create some positivity, we need to allow the stars that create the gimmicks here, we need to allow them to use that gimmick anywhere else they go. Um, so for them to do that, and in a way, thus now allow someone like Matt, as of December 15th, which ironically is the day after December 14th, if you catch my drift, after which, by the way, as I mentioned in another video, nothing's really going to come of that right away. It's going to take time, and that's going to go through a lot of hoops and hurdles, and it's going to be a bigger league. Basically, that what happens on December 14th. Let me put it this way: you think Matt here had a legal battle on his hand trying to get the broken gimmick? That's going to even be a bigger and probably longer battle for the FCC to get net neutrality. And you know what? It's not going to go in the FCC's favor, apparently. Maybe we don't know yet. So again, check out my last live video on that one. But yeah, Matt basically is going to finally be able to use it because Anthem has realized, hey, like I said, if we're going to create some goodwill here, not just among ourselves and our super men and women that go in that six-sided ring and perform for us every other night or every week or something like that, we'll be, hold on for a second. I was just checking something there. But anyway, it's like But anyway, it's like I'm saying, Anthem realizes that if they're going to create goodwill amongst themselves and amongst the men and women that go out into the six-sided ring every few weeks, every other day, what have you, that they need to prove, as well as show goodwill to the promotions they are partnered with, that they need to prove that. They need to show some kind of kind of give some positive outlook on saying, hey, we are willing to change. We are willing to go and move forward. And apparently Ed Norherm and probably someone talked to Ed Norherm and made him realize, look, I know we understand you want to, have ownership of certain things for this company, but really, is it worth it to create all this negative energy that we don't necessarily need if we're trying to reboot this company and make it better than what it was before, especially after the situation with Jeff Jarrett and his prop in his recent actions, if you will, that put him into rehab. And as well as now the disassociation with GFW, do they really need any more negative press? And apparently, like I said, someone must have talked to Ed Norherm and said, look, you need to just let these. Probably someone came up to Ed Norherm and said, look, maybe what we need to do is allow these men and women who come up with these gimmicks in this company to use them outside the company, not just here or with the companies we're partnered with, but use it, elsewhere. Like, for example, if Rosemary leaves Impact Wrestling, they can't stop her from being Rosemary in WWE if the WWE brings her in. Same with Laura Van Ness. Whether or not she keeps the crazy gimmick or not after she wins the Knockouts title, a spoiler alert, she does. Whether she keeps that crazy gimmick or not, they can't stop Lauren Van Ness from using it, or Chelsea, which is her real name. They can't stop her from using it outside of Impact Wrestling anymore. They're going to allow her to be that. Same with Taryn Tyrell. Taryn Tyrell created this. When she went heel, and I talked about this on my channel, it was such an amazing thing to see. It's like, this is how a transition from face to heel should be, in a way, because it was done so well. It's like one moment she's face, and then the moment she gets help from the dollhouse and she starts pinning Awesome Kong, or I think it was Awesome Kong, all of a sudden you see this change, some 180 change into demeanor, and it's like, wow, that was surprising. Did she really, was this really a part of her the whole time? So to see that, and then to see her kind of bring that back in a sense with a bit of a hybrid of a Valley Girl like persona, because that's basically what the dollhouse was, sort of Valley Girl-ish, if you will, but not along the levels that she had when she came back. If Taryn Tyrell wanted to go back to WWE and continue that side of her, that Valley Girl, seductive dollhouse-like gimmick, she could do it. Heck, if Jade and Marty Bell, or Maya Yim, aka Jade in Impact Wrestling, and Marty Bell wanted to continue the dollhouse gimmick that they created, that they brought together in Impact Wrestling, along with Taryn. Let's say WWE wanted to bring them in as a whole trio. Heck, you're doing the trio thing now with the women. They could do that. They could do that with those women. Be, and for any hardcore fans, they would get exactly what's going on there, what this group is, or who this group is. The point is, what Anthem, this new ruling, this new stipulation they put into the contracts, is a positive step in the right direction for them, and it's just hopefully the first step in really trying to put goodwill on their brand and possibly attract not just men and women that compete in the ring to the company, knowing that, hey, once we leave, we can keep whatever gimmick we develop here as our own and still use it. But hopefully it creates a good vibe when they start partnering. Sorry for the lag there. They start partnering with any other promotions and stuff down the line. So for this to finally happen, and thus for the moment that we've all been waiting for, Because let's be honest, the Hardys may have been on the decline. Jeff may be out with an injury. Matt may have been reduced to somewhat of a semi-jobber, suffered the leg there again. But let's be honest, it's something that we have been waiting for quite some time. Sorry for the lag. But again, it's something that we have been waiting for quite some time. And whether we admit it or not, it's something we've been waiting for. They have hinted at it with Matt sometimes over the past since they've returned that it's going to happen. He's been throwing in those broken mannerisms. So to finally see it occur, to come to fruition, to start to manifest itself in WWE, and for the fact that you have Michael Cole of all people saying, Matt Hardy has finally reached his breaking point, or we see the breaking point of Matt Hardy, basically is an indication that yes, we're getting it. But how is it going to be used? How's it going to be used? That's the question Dalyxman has. And is it too late? Well, here's the thing about something like the broken woken gimmick, if you want to look at it that way. There's an old saying: it's never too late for anything. It's never too late. When people look at people my age or my mom's age or my sister's age, and they ask, is it too late for them to go to college? Is it too late for them to achieve their dream of being a singer and stuff like that? And the answer is no, it's never too late. It's never too late to achieve something and make it a reality. Is it too late maybe for me if I decide, hey, I want to do 1 year's worth of being a pro wrestler and wrestle on the indies? That? Is it a year late for me to do that? Absolutely. Is it too late for me to do that? Absolutely not. For me, it's never too late. For anybody that wants to live their dream or at least see something become a reality, it's never too late. Tomorrow I plan to get the Nintendo Switch. Is it too late for me to get that? No, it's not. It's never too late. Is it too late for me to get an NES Classic? No, it's not. It's never too late. Is it too late for the Select Daddy, Jeff Shigo, to finally attend WrestleMania to get tickets to New Orleans? It's never too late. The point is, nothing is never too late. And it's obviously not too late for Matt to go in this direction and make it a reality in WWE. Even if he has to go the woken gimmick, he has to go woken instead of broken, it still works. Now, the question is, how will it work? How will the broken, aka woken, work in WWE? Well, broken worked for what it did. As far as the broken portion, it worked for what it did. It basically, Matt reached a breaking point. He suddenly had this change, and it just worked. It got over like, I never thought I'd say this, it got over like gangbusters. It got over in such a way that at first people didn't think anything of it, didn't think it was going to succeed because as out there and ridiculous as it seemed, no one thought it would work. But it did. Heck, look at this character. Spider-Gwen. Look at that. Spider-Gwen, right? When Marvel came up with the idea to do a Spider-Gwen, they only thought of it as kind of a very limited character that probably wouldn't do much, probably wouldn't get over as much. But yet, look what happened. She got over like gangbusters, and she's got her own ongoing series. She's made many outside comic appearances in some of the Spider-Man animated shows. Oh, and there's probably a possibility she's going to be a DLC down the line for a Marvel fighting game or Marvel vs. Capcom game or whatever. The point is, they experimented there and it succeeded. But, what I'm saying to say is, that's the same way with Matt Hardy. When Matt worked with Impact Wrestling and got this going, at first it didn't look like it was going to be anything special, but yet all of a sudden it just took off. It took off like gangbusters, and people enjoyed it. Because remember, when he started the broken gimmick, he was a heel. But the more it got over, the more he went with the delete, even as a heel, it got over. And Matt realized, and he obviously worked with Impact Wrestling on this, that had said, hey, we need to go in this direction. We need to turn this into a face kind of deal and go from there. And it worked. And when he got Jeff into it, it worked even better because Jeff's a very creative guy as well. The Hardys are a very creative duo in wrestling. So just when you think something like the broken gimmick wouldn't get over for them, guess what? It did. And it eventually led to something that, had they remained with Impact Wrestling, probably would have culminated in something big, or something at least decently big for that company as far as they were concerned. Because once they won the tag team titles, what happened? They decided to go with this story arc where the Hardys are transported from promotion from place to place around the world to promotion, ocean, winning tag team gold after tag team gold after tag team gold after tag team gold. And these promotions knew that and obviously these promotions had an agreement with the Hardys and with Impact Wrestling to allow this to happen. And it worked. It got attention on those oceans as well on those promotions, probably more so than they expected, because now they were involved in this massive storyline. And some could say that storyline came to its fruition, came to its climax, its culmination, or its conclusion at WrestleMania, even if it was unintentionally, because you had the Hardys become the Raw Tag Team Champions. Because think about this, even ROH was part of the storyline. Even after the Hardys were gone, the Hardys continued this storyline somewhat in ROH when they became the tag team champions there. And in a way, when they came back at WrestleMania, that was the culmination of the whole storyline. That was like they started in Impact Wrestling, they've journeyed throughout all these other promotions, and now they've achieved the goal of becoming tag team champions in WWE. They've basically conquered the world in space and time and universe as being the greatest tag team of all time. But now, where do you go? But now, how do you do that? How do you kind of not repeat success, but how do you try to capitalize on that, especially if you're going to go from broken to woken? Now, they could have Matt come out and do his mannerisms and all that and admit that the woken gimmick, because this is how I think it could work. They can have Matt come out and admit that the woken side is an evolution of his broken side. That now, as far as WWE is concerned, he is woken to the truth. He is woken to the fact that guys like him may never get over because the powers that control this company are scared. He can go into some kind of woken mannerism and speech and promo of how he's woken to the truth about WWE and certain individuals like Hunter and Stephanie and all that. And it could work. It could work. Because then, in a sense, you're kind of being kayfabe-ish and kind of giving people sort of a, behind the scenes look, kind of tearing the wall down, in a sense, through the woken gimmick. Because you're basically allowing someone like Matt to come out and expose, in a sense, the truth. Not in a way that would totally expose it, but in a way that plays into his woken broken gimmick, but also plays into the storyline that as long as Stephanie and Triple H are in control, no one will achieve their destinies set forth by the deities to them. You can even have him, if he goes into a program with Triple H, admit that this false King of Kings, that this King of Kings is a false king, because he has not truly conquered all. He has not truly done anything to prove he's a true King of Kings. And they can go in directions like that. You can, even if he starts it with Bray Wyatt, you can have him break a little bit of the fourth wall by call him Bray by his real name, Wyndham Rotunda, and saying something along the lines that he's only created this Bray, that Wyndham had to go to the world, to the spiritual realm, and be reincarnated and reborn as this Bray Wyatt person because he was scared and everything, and he in his mind knows that, and he in his heart of any hearts knows that. That's why he acts the way he does. You can have Matt do all kind of different woken broken mannerisms and promos that, in a sense, tear the wall down between kayfabe, reality, and fantasy. It kind of not just tears the wall down, but kind of tears it down, but blends it in. It's like you're exposing a bit, but you're blending it into that kind of story arc fantasy like realm, because then all of a sudden it's like you're allowing the business, you're allowing the truth to be shown, but uh you're allowing it to be part of a storyline that could create a big surge in viewership, maybe, and interest in your product, that right now for WWE is very, and Monday Night Raw in the 3 hour format is very necessary. They need something like this. So whatever they do with Broken Woken Matt, and it has to basically play into what he's done elsewhere, because, and if it go in the Woken gimmick, it only makes sense that they go in the direction I think they should go in, or hopefully they think about going in, because that could work. I mean, heck, if you want to, let's say, lead to a Triple H babyface turn, you can have Woken Matt be part of that. Say, look, as long as you listen to this witch who's cast a spell on to Stephanie McMahon, who is actually a witch in the form of a human, who has cast a spell on you to control what you say and do, then you will never be free. You will never be a true King of Kings as long as you listen to this witch. It could work. And heck, you want to incorporate Rebby Hardy into it. If they're able to do that, that will work too, because that way you could have Rebby, because everybody's saying Stephanie needs to get some kind of comeuppance, right? Have Rebby, who is an in-ring performer, come out and be the one that helps give her her comeuppance. That works, and it would work into the gimmick. It would work into the gimmick. So, in the story arc and all that, there's many possibilities, and hopefully, whatever directions they go in with this is going to be worthwhile. But will it succeed? I think WWE's has planned for this to happen since the Hardys come back, and maybe I'm giving the WWE the benefit of the doubt, but or maybe too much confidence. Maybe I have too much confidence in WWE, which a lot of people say we shouldn't. But maybe they worked something out when the Hardys came back, to where whenever they're able to do the broken gimmick, the woken gimmick, whatever, that Matt will have some final say in what happens. Like the creativeness for the woken broken gimmick, Matt Hardy gimmick, is going to be 50-50. It's like creative will have some say, Matt will have some say, if not final say. So hopefully they've come to an agreement to where both sides will have a say on what happens and what occurs. And I think maybe, as Dalyxman put it, part of the agreement will allow Matt to not have to worry about scripts or anything like that. He'll be able to say how he feels, be able to act the way he knows how to act, be able to do what he's done before, but now on this bigger stage of WWE. And when you think about it, creative would have to be out of the mind not to agree to some kind of um, 50-50 deal, because basically you're allowing, because basically, if because they should know, if they allow Matt to do this, it'll work wonders for them, and it'll get Matt over, it'll get the story over, it'll get talent that he goes up against, maybe even more over. It will work. So they'd have to be crazy not to go 50-50, and part of that agreement allow Matt to just go out and do what he's done before, because obviously they've seen that it works and it can be a success. It can be. Um, but yeah, I think hopefully if they come to some kind of agreement as to when this would ever occur. Like, maybe, like I said, maybe when they came back, they said whenever you're able to do this, because they probably knew they were going to be in for a battle legally, but they probably agreed that, hey, if you ever do this, you're able to finally, be able to go to your broken gimmick. You know, you know that that's when the stipulation, that's when the agreement in the contract of being 50-50 will happen. Now the question is, we know this is going to have Matt and Jeff when he comes back as Brother Nero, because reports are he's going to be part of this as well. Will Matt and Jeff be able to do what they did match-wise in Impact Wrestling? Well, apparently, be back in part 2.